So a couple of weeks back, we were talking about how you lead horses safely. And after we'd finished making that video, I took the horse that I was dealing with through the barn to let him sort of sniff noses with other horses, just because I wanted to show you what can happen sometimes when we allow horses to do that. But we ended up getting some kind of interesting footage about body language that I thought we'd go over as well. But first, here's why you never let horses sniff noses with each other when you're holding the lead. Now, these aren't two young wild horses here. These are two horses that are 20 years old. And yet, look at how they are, even though they know each other quite well. Just the excitement of meeting each other in the evening when they weren't expecting to caused all of this reaction. So imagine if you were leading a horse and he comes up to another horse and puts nostril to nostril like that. Don't let them, because you're apt to get hurt, or at least if you don't know how to get out of the way in time, you're apt to get hurt. Now, if you've been around horses for a while, you can pretty much see that coming. But if you haven't seen it before, it comes as a little bit of a shock, and you might be too slow to get out of the way. So Spirit isn't dominant at all, and you can see he's sort of licking and chewing, even though that's his pasture mate. He's still being sort of submissive. When he meets Rocky, watch his ears. He's got one ear on me, knowing I'm still there with him, and the other ear on Rocky. Not too eager to make connections. So the next one he's going to meet is Shade, and she's a little bit of an aggressive mare, and you can see he doesn't really want anything to do with her. He's quite tentative. He doesn't really want to get too close, lets her reach out to him, and then he shows his absolute disgust, and he's had enough of that. Now notice his totally different posture with Jasper. This is a horse he wants to play with, that he seems to like. And watch this sort of almost a trembling that they're doing in the arched necks, and now here we go, nostril to nostril. And you can pretty much guess what's coming next. Again, just a quick reminder, don't get in front of those front legs when they're meeting another horse. You don't want to talk to me anymore? I don't blink. All right. And as we walk Rattly down the aisle, you can see the different reaction he gets from the other horses. Even Spirit, feeling pretty brave on the other side of his stall wall, wants to say hello to Rattly. But now watch the reaction that Shade gives Rattly. She doesn't come out of the stall to touch him the way she did when Spirit came down the aisle. In fact, she backs right up. This could be bad. And Rattly loses interest pretty quick once he sees Jasper, a horse that he could play with. Of course, when we say playing, horses are always sort of play acting like they're real and wild horses. So even though these boys are both gelded, they're still play acting the way stallions would. And you can see that Jasper was a lot more eager to play with Spirit than he is to play with Rattly, because he senses that Rattly is a very dominant horse. So he kind of recedes back into his stall a little bit, maybe not so keen to play after all. The next horse Rattly meets is Gus, and they're not even turned out in the same field together. But Rattly immediately knows that Gus is absolutely no threat. Gus is a friendly, gentle horse, and he starts nuzzling and wanting to play with Rattly, and Rattly recognizes this as a completely non-threatening gesture and accepts this. Well, not very interested, but he accepts it. They make kind of a cute picture, don't they? Just make a note of all the muscles in Rattly's neck. He looks very relaxed. His ears look relaxed. His eyes are soft. It'll be quite different when he goes to the next horse, who he thinks of as more of an equal and perhaps even as a bit of a challenger. No. Watch yourself like this. So horses have a very strong social order, and it's based on a hierarchy or a pecking order. And we always suggest to our students that any opportunity you get to watch horses at liberty will tell you more than almost anything else will about the nature of the horse. So if you're watching this anywhere besides at our blog, go on over there, scroll down, leave a message, let me know what you think. Let me know if you ever get a chance to watch horses in their natural state, so to speak, interacting with each other. And we'll see you next week. Remember to thank your horse.